Good morning. Right, so I'm not on the road today, but I do have something that I would like to talk about, and that is about what isn't a good person. And I have an example. So I've come to realize, or I've to know, or I've come to understand that somebody that I know is not a good person. And I made the judgment. I don't care. People will say we're not supposed to judge. We judge every day. We are supposed to judge. You'd be an idiot if you didn't. Right? So my judgment of this person was based solely on the things they said and the things they did, not on on my feelings, but based on their behavior, on their words and their actions. So interestingly, today I had a conversation with the individual who was very quick to tell me. So sometimes people can pick up how we feel about them. So the individual was very quick to tell me that somebody told them that they're a good person. And this is not the first time I've had somebody come to me and say, oh, this person says I'm a good person, or this person thinks I'm nice. If you need to tell somebody that this person said I'm a good person, this person said I'm nice, you're not nice, you're not a good person. And the reason I say that is because you wouldn't be picking examples. I'm not going to say whether I'm a good person or not, but I will tell you that I can be a wicked person. But I'm only wicked in situations where the situation demands wicked. And in saying that, I'm saying that I'm good at giving people what they deserve. Because I'm not in the business of needing people to like me. So I don't go about trying to be nice. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that. So I get people constantly telling me, you're such a good person, you're such a good sister, you must really love your sister. And it infuriates me when people tell me that. I don't have to be a good person to look after my sister. I don't need to be a nice person to look after my sister. And I don't have to love my sister to look after my sister. All that I would need to do, if I was greedy for money, I would just need to pretend to be good and kind so that she would leave everything to me, just using that as an example. Right? So we know that people can be motivated to do good because there's something in it for them. Fortunately, I am not the kind of person who looks to other people for what they've got. I don't look and think. Like, for example, recently my mother died, and I've had people say to me, maybe she left you something. And I'm thinking, why on earth would you even be telling me that? If you knew anything about me, you would know that I don't sit here waiting or hoping to inherit from anybody. I have this, my policy is what's yours is yours. What's mine is mine. Even though I don't mind sharing, you don't you don't have the right to expect anything from me. So, for example, the fact that I'm looking after my sister doesn't have the right to expect me to look after her. She can be grateful that I'm looking after her, but she doesn't have the right to think, or nobody has the right to think that as her sister, it is my duty to look after her. I've said this so many times, my duty is to myself. My duty is to look after myself. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. That's the saying. I don't place any expectations on anybody for me. And it's not because I'm selfish. It's that I take, even as a child, I took responsibility for myself. I am not anybody's responsibility, therefore my health, everything else. I don't even put my health it, in the hands of the health service or the GP. To those who don't know what the GP is, the general practitioner, the doctor, I don't put my trust in the medical profession. As far as my health goes, that's my responsibility. So, if you like, I put that responsibility on God, but only after I've done everything that I can do to look after myself, which is why I get a bit mad sometimes with my sister. You know, from when I think about it, because I did say to her not to go back to work. And I said that based on, I was inspired to tell her that. But it was up to her whether she listened or not. And it's all good and well in hindsight to know that you should have listened, but you didn't. And people would challenge me and say, "Oh, but you never know what's around the corner." Blah blah blah. This is why I tend not to have much to do with people when it comes to discussing certain things, which include health, because I don't have the same mindset. So again, we're coming back to what is or what is not a good person. I don't allow people to tell me whether I'm good or not. If I say to you I'm a wicked person, then it is up to me to determine whether or not I am a wicked person. You don't make that judgment based on how I treat you. If you think I'm a nice person, you're making the judgment based on what you've seen me do, how I've treated other people, or how I've treated you. But it doesn't mean I'm nice. Because, in some regards, we can all act if there's something in it for us. I can tell you categorically, there's never anything in anything for me. So I don't need to be nice to anybody, and I don't need to, I don't need to come across as good. I can just be myself. So it's interesting. So in the same way that I judge myself, so I judge others. So it's interesting that someone would be quick to come to me to tell me, "Oh, this person said I'm a good person," because, yeah, but you're just doing your job. In the same way, like when I do my job, if I hit the customer's deadline, the customer might praise me. I don't need the praise. My job is to get things done when you want them done. But in moments of gratitude, people will praise us. So it was in a moment of gratitude that the person made the comment that the individual is a good person. But based on my many experiences with the person, I've come to the conclusion that you're not a good person. Based on the things you say and the things that you do. And nobody's going to change my mind on that because I've seen and heard enough. Right, so that's that. So the other thing was when I didn't give the expected response, which was like, "Wow, that's really good. He's right. You are a good person." What the individual then did, which I'm very familiar with this behavior, was to try to make me see them as a good person by seeming to be interested in the things that I'm interested in. The things that I'm interested in include navigating my way in the world. So people who are around me, who speak to me, know that I don't take my lead from politicians or religious leaders or anybody. So it doesn't matter what the directive is, what fear tactic politicians are using in order to get our interest, to get more power from us, basically. I don't respond to anything. And so the individual began talking to me about what's going on in Ukraine, because I have strong opinions about that. Not necessarily what's going on in Ukraine, but the idea that all of a sudden everybody is standing with Ukraine and you don't have the choice. If you want to be liked, you are not allowed to stand with Russia if you so choose. Whatever. So it was very interesting. So I allowed the conversation to roll just to see where it was going. And it's just very interesting. Well, I find it interesting anyway that we human beings care so much what others think about us. I said this in the book, in the bit where I talk about imposters. Rather than pretending to be who you are not, why don't you just become the person that you are pretending to be? If you want the reaction that one who is a good person gets for being a good person, why don't you just become that person? And this is where we come back to personal development. I said in one of the videos that recently a couple of people asked me, in all seriousness, if I embarked on a personal development program, because I knew that when I get older I'm going to be alone, and so I'm preparing for it. And I was astonished that people actually have that kind of mindset, to actually see a good thing as a negative. So instead of, I guess there's this thing where people talk about old women and cats. I don't like cats in that kind of way. I prefer dogs. I'm not a cat person, but it's just sort of some of the stereotypes that people create based on, I guess, what's been programmed into them, what they think they know. But rather than develop yourself to be a good person, if that's how you want people to see you as, you're going to try and talk somebody into believing that you are a good person. I mean, some people might fall for it because, as I said, some people will come bearing gifts. Some, try and talk people into it by, giving them something. So, like I said, if it be the case that I was after something from my sister, then you could understand why I'm here, talking to you from the comfort of the sofa. You could understand why I've been here for like nearly 2 years. But there's absolutely nothing in it for me. It's just that she needed help, and that's what I'm doing. I'm helping her. But if you're somebody who you do things to get gain, whether it be to get an adrenaline rush so people can praise you, so you can get money, so people can think well of you, whatever. If you're that kind of person, then you're going to judge others in the same way. I don't know what else to say apart from, I don't like to give advice, but I'm going to finish by saying, if somebody needs to tell you that they are a good person, so, I mean, this is an easy way for me to gauge a man, if any man that's sort of showing me interest. If a man tells me that, I'm a good man, I can look after you, I can do this for you, you can be sure that I'm going to run in the opposite direction. Well, not run, calmly walk in the opposite direction. But I'm not going to tell him why why I believe he's not a good man. Because in telling him, I'm just going to be arming him for his next victim. And it should be said that this isn't just exclusive to men. Women do it as well. You should never have to tell anybody that you're a good person. By your fruits, they will know. It actually says that in the Bible, by our fruits we are known. A good tree does not bring forth bad fruits. A bad tree doesn't bring forth good fruits. And on that note, I bid you all a very good day and look after yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.